Good afternoon, retail traders. I'm Washboardjim with a sneaky snake trading strategy where I talk about chart patterns, moving averages, and being in the now. And this is going out for this coming week's watch list, May 5th. And let's get right to it. Happy Sunday to everybody. We finally got a sunny day here in Missouri. And this is my setup. And usually I have my little message center here and my TV on right here where I watch Schwab. So right now, this is the sneaky snake trading strategy, and we're going to talk about this coming week's earnings and the watch list that I've created. So on my watch list, you see it here up to the left, volume high. I always like to look at the volume leaders as I go into next week just to see what kind of stocks people are mostly interested in. And then I'll probably trade about 5 or 6 of this throughout the week. Once come Monday, and if I see anything red on here, I might look at it. If I see anything breaking out, all-time highs, I might look at it. Let me take a drink of water. It's funny how I start to act up when I start to do a video. My voice, in a way. Sometimes I talk all day long when I'm live on YouTube, and I am live on YouTube, so subscribe, ring that bell, and you'll get my updates when I get on. And every video that I do besides my live is always a learning experience. So this coming week, Monday, we don't have really much going on Monday morning. Tyson's Food maybe would be one to watch, but Monday after hours, we got that hot running PLTR, which we're about to all-time highs. HIMS is a good one to watch. We're going to have Ford, which is kind of oversold, which I think is one of the leading catalysts into Donald Trump's agenda for the auto industry, and that could be a good one to watch. And then we got Tuesday morning, we got Datadog on here. We got Race on here. That might be one to watch. I don't have it on my watch list. Marriott. And then we got big Tuesday after close. We got SMCI AMD, and there's RIVN. RIVN might be a little trade to take. But the EV sector is kind of, gone downhill. Means that we're not slewing out taxpayers' money for them like we was under the Biden regime, which is a waste of money. Upstart's on here. I don't know if I got that on my watch list. I might check. We got WYNN and we got listed. So we got EV cars on Tuesday after hours with AMD and SMCI. So that ought to be a good day, Tuesday after hours. Then we got Pow Pow Day on Wednesday, and we have Uber, Disney. And then after hours, we got App, Carvana would be another good one to watch, especially if the way cars are these days, how expensive they are. We got Dash. We got, what else we got? We got CLF. I didn't have that on my watch list. I might be add it to it. Oxy, that's Warren Buffett's stock. And then Thursday morning, we got Peloton, Shopify, Conoco, Cronus, cannabis stock, Crocs. Thursday evening, we got Coinbase, SoundHound, which is an EV kind of. Excuse me. DraftKings, I didn't put that down on my watch list. Might be one to watch. And then Friday evening, not GoGo, but I think that's that Tennessee one. Well, that's on. No, GoGo's a different one. Cloud stock. GoGo is. So let's go ahead and get to the watch list. I'm going to move this over here to the side, and we're going to pick these out throughout the day. Which ones we're going to go. We're not going to go in order, and we're just going to kind of say, okay, I'm going to take not much on Monday morning, Tyson's Foods. So we're going to look at PLTR. Well, first let's look at the indices. I'm going to move this over here to the right. To my left, I mean. And we're going to pull up the indices. We're going to change these to the daily and to the weekly, just to kind of see where we are on the weekly. I think we're at a place now where we could have a little consolidation and then a breakout come Wednesday. It's all going to be about pow this week. And my daily traders are SPY and SPX. And I really like trading SPX because that's the big money maker. And I'm great at scalping it, looking for ideas. So let's clean out these. Just watch this. We'll leave right here. This one's already cleaned up. Let's clean this one off. And this one's cleaned up. Now let's clean it up too. So IWM had a great bounce. We broke past the 200 on the weekly, which is bullish. And we're going to put that 200 down as a support level. And if we keep above the 9 EMA, that's the 200 SMA and the 200 EMA. So right now, once you break above that 200 SMA on the weekly, we start to become bullish. And we're going to put a price line right there. It's going to be a rough estimate. We're going to keep it right above that 9. So that's going to be your lowest support to keep this thing bullish. We got to stay above 198.08, or we come back and look at it and see if we can get that 200 EMA, which is right around 196.75. Then the resistance to break will be the last resistance we had here on the weekly candlestick, which is 258. Now I'm using the body of the candle. Then we're going to bring this down to the daily. And the daily is right there at that 63, and that's what we hit. So to me, that's a hard resistance on the daily. And if we can break past that 63, we're going to go much higher. If not, so right around 202 will be your resistance level for this coming week. And if we can break above 202 on the IWM, we're going to start looking at different resistance levels. For right now, we closed at what, 248. So we're going to take this to the 1 hour, and this is going to give me the idea where I think we're going to be. Yeah, I mean, this looks real good. You see, we had a break bounce off 168 already. So this could be a kind of a pullback consolidation area, and that low support right around 196.75 keeps this stock bullish. If not, we're going to jump on down and hit that 200 on the 20-day 1 hour, and that's the 200 SMA. But for right now, if we stay above 196.75, it stays bullish. And then we got the weekly on the QQQ. We're in the same boat right here. We broke past the 21, which is a good catalyst for this thing. And we got a little bitty resistance here from this previous candle. If we can stay above, we're going to say 487.50. If we start breaking above it, we'll start to move this thing up higher to the next level. And it's going to be the next body of this candle right here, that green one. And that's right around $500. Low support, keep it above the 63 and the 9 EMA. We're at the body, so that's right around 473 to keep this thing bullish. Now that's the QQQ. We'll just leave it at that. That's easy to read. Then we've got the SPY. So the SPY, we hit the 21 on the weekly, and we're going to put a price line right at the 21. I use my moving average, like I said. So if we stay above 565.56, we look for higher levels, and we could go ahead and break that gap right here and run us up to the next resistance at 575 this coming week on the SPY, and that ain't much. Or we pull back and we hit that 9, right about where I got that alert set. So we're going to, or the 63. So we're going to use the body of that candle that we had last week, right around 550.36, for a low possible support. If we hit the 550, I think that'll be a very strong buy. And we got to break that 21 on the weekly, and we'll take this to the daily time frame. The daily would be breaking at 200, so I want to lower this 575 down to the 200 SMA. And we're going to remove that, and I'm going to put that right there at right about 572.50 area. If we can break 572.50, we'll go higher in this trade. If not, we'll consolidate back down, and that low support will be right around 555.82. And we could have, you know, a little consolidation, but we did break a major resistance level here, and I'm going to show you what it is. It's at 200 EMA. So let's put a line right there, and if we can stay above that 260-212 area, I think that'll be a good catalyst to keep this thing bullish. This is going to be a fun one to watch this coming week, to spy. We'll probably, like I said, we've had a good run from the bottom that I called. If you go back and watch my videos that I did, I went back about 3 weeks ago and did 4 weeks ago and did where I thought we hit bottom at, and that'd be a good one to catalyst. Now I want you to pay attention to this. As I go to the weekly, this is a good learning experience right here. See how close we were to that 200 EMA? See how close we were to that 200 EMA? See how close we were to that 200 EMA on the yearly about 3 years ago? And we started bouncing. So we pulled back to a solid support. And I've tried to ring this out, and I didn't get too many followers, too many views on that video. So if you want to go back, I'll probably put it in the bottom of this one and watch that video, because the next time we get down to that 200 on the weekly, you can signal that we might be at a bottom. Depends on market conditions. I think this is all oversold. I thought it was. I think this market's kind of rigged, and the fat cats brought that back down to the 200, but nobody, I'm going to repeat, nobody's mentioned that 200 at all but me, because I've been here before, and I've called these out before, and they bounced up from it, and they want to bounce up again. As you can see, it did. And that's the same thing here with the SPX. We came close to that 200 EMA, and it bounced on up. Now we're at a resistance level. See? We're at a resistance level. A month later, we're at a resistance level. So you got to really pay close attention to this, and we get a small pullback. This is the SPX to the 63. This thing still stays bullish, right at 55.1132, and that'll be a great buy signal, I think. We need to come back a little bit and consolidate. We've had a good run, and you don't want to get caught with your pants down on this one right here. You want to be ready for it, and if we do pull back to the body of that candle on the weekly, and you go back and you look on the weekly and see what last week's body was on that candle, and that could be a solid support to run this back up for a double top breakout. So that's SPX. And we got a resistance level to break right here at the top of the body of that candle right there at 57.0935. And like I said during this video, it ain't going to take no time for us to get back up and run up and hit those resistance levels. And we closed at that 21. So this is very important resistance level that we got, all of them. All of them. QQQ broke past it a little bit, but every one of these is at a resistance level. And they were oversold. And the fat cats have been totally wrong about this here tariff deal and this recession crap. So don't get too hyped up with CNBC. Them dogs on there are trying to rip you off. Now look at the volume spike here on the SPY. See that? That's huge. So we get another big volume spike. That means we're going to have a breakout on this stock. So let's go ahead and look at the watch list. But let's take this to the 1 hour or to the daily just to see if I can find a pivot point on the daily here. And it'll probably be that 9. And we're going to go with the body of that candle right there for the low possible support to keep this thing bullish. and that's 55.65.33. So one good red day this week is going to be a very strong buy signal, if we get it. If we get it. But for right now, we're at that 21 here, even on the weekly. So let's bring this to the daily. Where are you? Right there. Now this thing could run up easily and hit that 200 for a hard resistance. Once we pass the 200 on the daily, this becomes a very strong resistance level. And that's at 57.47.42 area. So we're close to that resistance. So remember, jot that on paper, 57.42.47.42. 57.47.42 resistance. And we could shoot up to the next resistance idea. But that's going to be your hard resistance to break. That's why I'm looking for a consolidation. And the pivot point is going to be right around 56.40 area. 56.39, 55, somewhere in that area. 56.39.55 keeps this thing bullish. And that's a $40 drop. So pay close attention to this coming week, and that'll be Wednesday. We'll find out what Pow has to say. But the earnings have been good, in my opinion. The only thing bad about the earnings is these CEOs don't have enough guts to call out a guidance. And I think that's disgusting and disrespectful to the traders, because they don't know what the hell they're doing, for one thing. And this is the best time to really focus on the market, because what Donald Trump is doing is making it opening for you to become real rich here in the next couple of years. He's more bullish president when it comes to business than any other president we've had. Now, the fat cats, they like that free taxpayer money coming to them. They're going to have to come to coalition that they're going to have to spend some of their money. And they want that stock price to go up to be able to do that. So let's get on looking at the watch list. Now I'm going to make this short and sweet. So I'm just going to go through 5 or 6 stocks that I'm going to be watching this week, and I'm going to write them down on paper. And I might be trading those 5 or 6, maybe 7 all week long. And Monday is going to be the day that will tell me that. Some of them are at a high resistance. So if I get excited about this coming watch list here, I want you to jot them stocks down, and those are the ones that I'm going to be watching this coming week. I'm going to make sure I got my pen here handy. Now, this is the weekly, so we got PLTR. Now, we've already had a huge run on this double bottom right here, of this inverse head and shoulders on the bottom, and I called this out a couple, 4 weeks ago. I said, this looks tempting, because we were at that double bottom. I'm drinking some hot chocolate right now. I'm in the mood. So to keep this thing bullish this week, we got to hold this support level right here off the body of that candle, right around 121 to keep it bullish. And resistance to break will be that 125.41. Dang, I had it right there. And if we do that, we'll be at all-time highs, and we'll start to break out, maybe hit 130. If not, and earnings aren't as good as they want them to be, that 113.43 is going to be the one to watch. Now, we've already up for earnings, so this is going to consolidate until earnings come out. So you'll probably get a pullback on this trade right here, and I'd be watching this one real close. I'm excited about PLTR. There for a while, I wasn't bullish on the CEO for a couple, 3 years. Now I'm very bullish. I'm bullish that he stood up for the Jewish people, and that he's a smart guy. He's a smart cookie. So 121.01 keeps it bullish. If we start to go below it, I'd start looking at a good scalping trade until earnings come out. Now, when do earnings come out on Crocs? Here, I wasn't going to do it like this. I was going to go through days, so let me find Crocs. I mean, not Crocs, but PLTR. Yeah, I'm all right. Monday afternoon, Monday evening, PLTR comes out. So the next one's going to be HIMS. HIMS, and I think it's had a good run too. And look at the volume on that sucker. This one's also had a good breakout off the 63 when I called that support level on the indices. And we're about to hit the next resistance of 43.01. If that breaks, we'll definitely go higher. And if it doesn't, and low support on this thing is going to be right around $36. If that holds, we stay bullish and we can scalp that thing back up. Somewhere in this here little channel between 34.30 and 36, I think will be a buy signal. The next one's going to be Ford. It's also got a big volume push on this stock right now, and that's Ford. And you can see we hit my resistance here at a triple top on Ford, and we filled that gap. So it called this out at the low, and we had a big old sell-off to 844. I think this one can easily run up and hit the 63 and then long to 1124 this coming week. I think it's going to have good earnings, and this is one of the auto companies that will benefit through Trump's policies over General Motors. The next one, so we got Tuesday evening done, and then we're going to have Tuesday morning with D-Dog. Let's see where this is here on my watch list. We're in the red on it, Friday. This one also has already had a good bounce. We've got a 1, 2, 3 setup here coming up, and let's draw a price line, a trend line to wherever that price line is going to be, that resistance level. And that's not what we need. We need to use the trend line. We'll take the body of that candle and run it to the body of that one. So right around that 200 is where our resistance level is going to be if we break the 200 EMA. For right now, support to hold to stay bullish is going to be right around 101.47. So let's put a little price line here. Right around 101.64. Resistance to break will be the 200 EMA at 107.19. Keep a good eye on that. That's your channel of support. Then we've got race, and that race to me is a woke stock. We got Marriott. Now, here's one that might be sold off. Let's see here. We had good bounce off the 200 EMA. I'm telling you, when we have a good sell-off, you've got to write down the 200 EMA and the 200 SMA on the weekly, and you can start calling these stocks out. If it ever comes down and hits that again, I'm telling you right now, you'll be able to make a lot of money. Remember, it's the 200 SMA and EMA. So we got this one here, Marriott. Now I'm bullish. I think traveling is going to be a big thing this coming year when people realize that they were dead wrong about the tariffs. And we're going to clean this up. Right now we're at the 50 SMA for a resistance level on the weekly. That's the 50 SMA at 254.10. With this week's coming support will be the body of that candle at 238.21. So keep a good eye on MAR. And we've got, that's it for Tuesday morning. Then Tuesday evening, SMCI. I'm still bullish in tech. Those are always my great trades to watch. Now, we do have a resistance level on this, and I'm going to show you how to write that in. Take that body of that candle here on the weekly, run it on down, and that's right at the 63 EMA. So we're going to put a price line right on that 63. And that's going to be your resistance to break, right around 42.70 this coming week. To hold, we're going to keep it there just right around $30 to hold. If it goes anywhere below $30, it'll be a strong buy. 26.61, I'd get in that sucker and go long. And we've got resistance to break this coming week. That was a belch at 37.58, the 21 EMA. And the next one is going to be AMD. So let's find AMD on here. China, do I not have an AMD on here? There it is. I was going to say, you don't be doing that, Bobo. See, Barron's has got this stock to watch, AMD. Now, we're way oversold on this trade, and we've had just a skimpy little bounce up to the upside about, I'd say $20, $22 from the bottom when I called the bottom. I called the bottom on all these trades. Go back and, it's going to be in the content, and you really want to learn something, go back and watch that video that I'm going to put down there, and hit that like button, and say I'm an outstanding trader in the comments section. So we're going to look for resistance is going to be breaking the 9. And we're at the 9 right now. So that's going to be our resistance to break. $98. And we hit 98.80. So if we can maintain that price, that'll be great. Now it's related to China. So, we got to be skeptical. $86 at the low for support to keep this thing bullish. And we hit that right there on the body of that candle over here to the left side, which now I think we're going to break it and run this on up here this coming week or a week or two, right around 108.61. And that'll be that double top right there. That'll be a beautiful spot for resistance. And that's AMD. RIVN is another good one we're going to be watching this week. Do I have it on there? It is. Now, RIVN was getting pumped by the Biden administration. They give him about $7 billion right before he left office, which I think was a scumbag thing to do. You don't want to be giving taxpayer monies to these corporations that are going to fail. And we give them $7 billion. I mean, that's why inflation went up so high. This was the couple of months right before he left office when he was voted out. So I think that was a scum thing to do, and we did pull back after he did it. We had a nice little run because he printed all that money for them cocksuckers. So we're right here at the 63. I don't think taxpayer money should be funded for corporations. They need to figure out through stock share programs and things like that and raise money that way if they're worth it. So we got 1381 to 63 to break. If that breaks, we'd come up here and hit the double top right around 1656 and stay bullish. We got to hold that 21 right around 1247. And that's RIVN. And that's going to be coming out on Tuesday evening. So Upstart, do I have that on here? there it is. Upstart is also at a resistance level. Let's clean this baby up. I kind of like this company in a way. And we did have a bounce of, $18 and hit that 200 EMA. So that's going to be your hard resistance to break. And that's right off that wick right there at $50, $50.95. If that breaks, we got to maintain and try to get past 53.61. Low support, we got a gap right here, and we're going to take it off the top of that wick right around 45.63 to stay bullish. And you got the bodies right here, and you got the top of that wick, and I think that's where it should hold to run back in this trade and run it back up to the 21. The next one, and that was Upstart, and that's what I say that was. That was Tuesday evening. So that's, and we got listed on here. LCID. Did I put that on here? Let's go ahead and add that to the watch list. Another EV company. It's probably a little bit oversold. I really had high hopes for this company, but their presentations really sucked when they pulled out this car. So we got a triple bottom down here for a very strong buy right around $2. If we can come back down there and hit that $2 area, a little close to it, a little above it, somewhere in that area. I'd run it back up and try to break the 9, the 21, which is right at 255. And this thing could probably get to 288. And then just run it on up all the way to the 63, where it's respected it the last time and pulled back, which is right around 335. So somewhere in the low 2s, maintain 255, we'll go up and we might make it to 323, 335. And that's listed. And that's it for Tuesday evening. And then we've got Wednesday. We got Wednesday morning. We've got a couple good ones in here to watch. Uber. Now, Uber is not my favorite company, but fat cats love it. Oh, I should have just went in here and looked at it. And we've already had the big bounce on this thing. I mean, this is one of their stocks. Right now, I think we've hit a resistance level. We got a double top right here at 86.31. I expect this thing to pull back and find your first support at $80 this week. 79.86. And a low right off the 9 on the weekly, right around 75.88 to keep this thing bullish. If not, we've got a 1, 2, 3 setup down here, which makes it 4. And we're going to draw that trend line in there and give you a price on that. Right around $64 for a strong buy. If it ever gets down to that area, $65. I'd go long in this trade. I'd swing it. And that's Uber. And Disney is woke. You know, I got kicked off of Stock Twits for bashing the CEO of this, what's his name? I can't remember his name now. I don't want to remember it. But we got a hard resistance to break. What's his name? Ah, damn, I have a blackout. I should know it. I've said it 100,000 times. Icon. No, it's not Icon. It's Iger. Bob Iger. 93.53. Bob Iger's a CEO that Wall Street just loves, and I don't. So this week we'll probably break 93.53. They'll come out with some decent earnings. Disney's the only thing. Disney cruise ships is the only thing that's going for them right now. And you know, I just don't think they should be mixing woke with children. That's my big issue with this stock, and that's why it's gone down so much. But them idiots don't recognize that. So we got to break that 93.53 to become very bullish, and we could run this up to 99, just under $100 this coming week. If that doesn't hold, we'll pull back, and I think any pullback on this will be a good scalping trade. Day trade. And then if we have a real hard sell off, I think you could go long in it and use that 198.9921 level as a resistance to break. And that's Disney, and that's Wednesday morning. Like I said, I'm not a Disney fan, but the fat cats love it. Then we've got Carvana on Wednesday evening. This one's been an outstanding stock during the Biden administration and the Trump, especially the Biden, because what he's done to the car industry, he about tore them up. Used cars are just extremely high. They went up 30% during the Biden administration, and they haven't gone down. And used cars, real cars, they've gone up too high in price too because of all the strikes. So we have 265.62 to break, which is a head and shoulders. We should hit that and pull back and consolidate at 243.57. If that doesn't hold, it could go a little bit lower and maybe be a strong buy at 233.68. Now I'm bullish on Carvana, but we've already had the big bounce. We just need to consolidate and then bounce back up. And that is Wednesday evening. And we got ARM. Did I put ARM on here? Yeah, I need to put ARM on here. ARM's already at resistance level. It could get good earnings and then run up to 136.97. But the resistance to break is going to be right here at the bottom of that candle, right around 126.50, with a solid support right around 115.73 off the 9 EMA. That's solid support. Solid support. If that 115.73 holds this week, I'd probably get in it and swing it up to the 21 on the weekly time frame. And that's ARM. And that's Wednesday evening. Cliff is another one that I need to add to the watch list for energy. I think that's an energy play. This one's been oversold, and we've had a little pop on it from 6. And I think resistance to break will definitely be that 21 EMA, right around 957, with a hard resistance set up right here on a 123B. Maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, but definitely 1, 2, 3. Just above $10. And we're going to put that price line in there right around 1050, 1048, 1041. Yeah, 1048. If that breaks, we'll start to break up these different levels to the double top. And then maybe up here to this one too. So this is at a good spot. If it comes out with good earnings, I'd watch this thing. And look here, they got $17 for a target price on this stock, and that's all the way up to here, long. Cliff to 750 from 11. Stanley cuts price target to 750, so they're not too bullish on it. But Riley is to 17. Everybody kind of has a pullback from their previous highs on the stock. So I don't know. It's just one to watch. I'm not too excited about it. We got Dash. I take a drink here. Clean up Dash here. Dash has had a good run already. From 155, it dashed up 50 bucks already. So it could create a head and shoulders resistance level and pull back to the 9 and be a strong buy at 188.58. That's all I need to see on that. But let's just take this to the daily and see if I see something different. Yeah, your first support's right here. At 199.66 keeps this thing bullish. But if it doesn't hold, it's definitely going to drop on down to these next levels. For some reason it had a big spike. So it's probably already priced in for earnings. And that's Dash. And that was, what day is that? Where the hell are you? Uh-oh, having a meltdown. Wednesday evening. And then we got Oxy on here, which is that Warren Buffett stock. On Wednesday. This one here might be a good trade. We got to break the 21, so let's clean this up. Let's go to the weekly. Yeah, I think we can break resistance on this one here, right around 40.50 this coming week. I'd watch this real close. 42.75, and then long all the way up here to 46.48. I think this will be a good trade to take. I really do. I think you need to keep a close eye on Oxy this week. I'm pretty sure earnings are going to be good. You know, they don't make as much money when a Republican's in office compared to when a Democrat's in office because they have a war on energy. And usually I see energy stocks fly when a Democrat's in office. Just the opposite of what you would think because they have a war against them. And then when Republicans come in, we want to keep them oil prices down for the consumer. We want to keep them gas prices down. And that's why it got hit so hard. But if we break 40.50, this thing can shoot up to 42.67 and then have a hard resistance at 46.50. And I'm telling you the facts. So the next day, Thursday morning, we got Piton and we got Shopify. Let's put Shopify. I think I got here on the list. Shop might already had a good run. Let's clean this up. You see where the old support is. I don't have to make that too much clearer than that. Right there at 91.32 for a strong buy. Resistance to break is going to be that gap right there. Right at that next high. Right around 101. And if that breaks, we can take this to 106. 106.50, 106.89. But support for a strong buy at 91.32. That's Shopify, and that's Thursday morning. Then we got ConocoPhillips on here, COP. Nope. I think I just took it off there. Let's put it back on. COP, resistance to break. Let's clean this up. Support to stay bullish. No lower than 90.57. And we're about there. We're getting ready to squeeze above the 9. So resistance to breaks, 93.20. All the way to the 200 EMA at 97 bucks. With a strong buy at the bottom of that candle right there. Right around 87.48. 87.17. Somewhere around that, between 87.17 area. Somewhere in that area. Not exact, but close. And that's ConocoPhillips on Thursday morning. And then we got pot stock, CRON. I think these stocks got a little oversold, but it's going to take, battleship to get these things rolling again. 190, the new resistance to break, all the way up to right around 212. And then long, somewhere in this channel right in here, right around 270. And then a double bottom, triple bottom, quad bottom down here. Strong buy at 163 for scalp and trade. Cron, I wouldn't pay much attention to it. Just see what happens. It gets good in earnings, you'd be surprised. And then we got Crocs, CROX. This is a good one to be watching. We got summer coming in. This is probably a shoe I wouldn't wear, but people liked Crocs when it was in an era, when it was in an era. Let's clean this up. We got to break the 9. 98.75 with a strong buy right around $90 and resistance to break right around 103.38. And then long this coming year to 109. So it's it's got some room to run. When it does run, it runs good. And we're definitely at a resistance level on this thing. And I'm going to show you how to draw a hard resistance. Let's take that trend line, run it from that body to that body. And that'll be 1, 2 bits, 3, all the way up to 120 bucks, just under 120, around 118 something. So I bet you would mark my words. We'll see 118.62 this year. And that's Crocs. Strong buy to go long at 90 bucks. Resistance to break right around 98.75 to 103 to 109 to 118. And that's it for Thursday morning. And then we've got Trade Desk on here. I don't think I put that on here. It's TTD. Let's just see where it is on the watch list. Resistance to break right around $59 at the 9 on the weekly. And support, we'll keep it there and just see if that holds at 48.64. to start scalping that trade up. But resistance will be definitely $59. That's trade desk. And then we got coin. Coin, I bet you's already had a good run. It had a huge pullback on it. We had a double bottom. I called this out. Now we're at resistance level at the 63 at 208. And if you can break that, we'll run it up to 230, 228. And we've got a resistance channel here of a head and shoulders. And we're going to show you how to draw that head and shoulders in, chart patterns, moving averages, and being in the now. Right about 237. That's that right shoulder. We hit that, it'll come back down off the 63 and then bounce back up and break out to the upside. That's a head and shoulders resistance. Those are hard to break the first time around. And that's coin. That's Thursday evening. And we got Mara. Mara's, oh, I don't have Mara on here. I better get that on there too. Mara had some good volume on this baby. So we had a low support at $10. Called this out. It's called an inverse head and shoulders at $10. And the thing bounced up right off that inverse head and shoulders. So long, Mara 1881, support 1320 right now to hold, to be that double bottom right there. And that's another inverse head and shoulders right there. So that could bounce, pull back, bounce up, and try to break them moving averages on the way up. Now keep an eye on Mara. And that's Thursday evening. Then we got SOUN. This could be another good one. We pulled back and hit that 200 EMA. Resistance to break will be 904, and we broke it. So the next resistance to break will be the 9. Let's clean this up. So we have a double bottom at 664 if it doesn't come in any good at all. But we're going to put it right there at 723. With resistance to break, which we did already, at that head and shoulders. And we're above the shoulder line now, so the next resistance will be the 21. And then all the way up to 1126. And then you see it had a great run. And then now it's had a solid pullback to the 200 EMA. So this one's one just to watch. If it breaks 1018, we'll go higher. If it doesn't, we'll pull back. And that's Thursday evening. We got DraftKings on here. Let's see where it is. DKNG. It had a huge run. Then it pulled back and hit the 200 on the weekly. Right now we're bullish above the 200 EMA at 33.44. If not, it'll pull back and hit 30.48. And we got to break that pivot point area of 38.87. That's a two-headed snake. That's DraftKings. We've got a firm on here. God, I'm missing some good ones. We've got a lot of. This week's watch list is not as good as last week's earnings watch list. Last week was a good one. Had all my favorites on it. We had 7 million in volume on this one here. We've already bounced up from the bottom. All my stocks reversed on that call. Now I've got a resistance here at the 21. So 52.23 is what we got to maintain and break. If that breaks, that's a double. It's got a head and shoulders, your left shoulder, your right shoulder, and your right shoulder. So it's very important this breaks this next resistance, or we run it on up to 63.48, and that's a firm. If not, she'll pull back and hit that 63 for first support at 46 off the 63 EMA on the weekly time frame.
63 EMA on the weekly time frame. 63 EMA on the weekly time frame. 63 EMA on the weekly time frame. 63 EMA on the weekly time frame. 63 EMA on the weekly time frame. 63 EMA on the weekly time frame. 63 EMA on the weekly time frame. 63 EMA on the weekly time frame. 63 EMA on the weekly time frame. 63 EMA on the weekly time frame. 63 EMA on the weekly time frame. 63 EMA on the weekly time frame. 63 EMA on the weekly time frame. 63 EMA on the weekly time frame. 63 EMA on the weekly time frame. 63 EMA on the weekly time frame. 63 EMA on the weekly time frame. 63 EMA on the weekly time frame. 63 EMA on the weekly time frame. 63 EMA on the weekly time frame. 63 EMA on the weekly time frame. 63 EMA on the weekly time frame. 63 EMA on the weekly time frame. 63 EMA on the weekly time fr
And Go-Go will be the last one. That's Friday evening. I'm not much into the Friday evening ones. I'm pooped out by that time. This one's had a hard sell-off. Probably because it lasts on Friday. So we got a triple bottom down here at 674 with resistance to break right around the 63 at 850. If that breaks, we could probably see right there, right under 10. So that's it for this week's watch list. I hope I was helping you out on how to look for stuff, and always remember that 200 EMA and SMA on the weekly. If you ever see that again on the indices, it could be a strong buy signal to go long in your favorite stocks. But right now we got to wait for Wednesday to see what's going on with Powell. I think that's going to be the big catalyst this week, and some of these earnings will be good to watch. Now I'm going to type in 5. I'll be talking about my 5 favorite ones on Monday morning, the ones that I'm going to be watching, and I guarantee it. I guarantee I can get a trade out of every one of them 5. So any kind of pullback on these stocks, I'll be watching to scalp, because we had a good run on them Friday this week, and they've had a good run period. A lot of them already have. So I'm thinking we need to pull back a little bit, and then we might have a good Monday, and then Tuesday would be iffy, and news is going to come out. I still think we're a news-orientated market, although earnings were real good so far. But the CEOs ain't giving that good guidance, and that's what causing some of these stocks to consolidate. So this is the sneaky snake trading strategy, where I like talking about chart patterns, moving averages, and being in the now. And I'm sorry this was a little long. If you got time to go back and look up some of these stocks that I called out during this coming week, you can I'll go through it all week long. I'll get up on this video and I'll pull them back, and I said, well, I called this, and I called that, and this is what I expect from here, and I'd like to match them up, see how accurate I am. And you do the same. You say, you'll wake up next Friday, and say, God dang, man, that Washboardjim nailed these. So have a great day, and we'll catch you all later.